live.
Woohoo! Number 15.
What?
Woohoo!
Already?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, you could be right about that. Yes, probably. Episode 15. And what a doozy we
Mm.
have. Hold on, I need to close the curtain bit because otherwise all the aircon gets out.
Yeah, cool. Could have done this 30 seconds earlier, but
Yeah, I know, but gotta keep things interesting. It's
yeah,
real. This is real live viewing, so you know,
that is true.
this is part of it.
So, what should we talk about first? Um, there's personal stuff. I'm building a computer. Um,
Oh, okay. You're getting that together.
yeah, it's all on the dining table over there. So, got a i5 uh, RTX 360, uh,
Uh,
2 terabytes of SSD.
what's an RTX 360?
That's the graphics card.
I take it that's a good one. I'm not up to date with my graphics cards.
All us nerds will know.
uh, um,
Uh, yeah, got the was it Aurora's Z490 motherboard. Awesome, cool stuff.
okay.
I'm slowly watching YouTube videos and working out how to put the little pins in. So
Oh yeah, I actually do love building PCs. That is
yeah,
the best.
it's so much fun.
Yeah, that is. And once it runs and actually works,
Oh
and then
man,
you sit there like drooling over the load time, and then you're
yeah,
like ultra specs all your games and everything,
yeah,
and
exactly.
oh,
So the RTX series, the 360,
yeah. Is that like the
390.
current new one that everyone's drooling
Yeah,
about?
that's the one that just came out, and they're like significantly cheaper than the last series, the
Right.
2000 series, and they have ray
Oh,
tracing, and they run under like an Ampere um, system. So I don't know what that means, but it's basically like I can't remember how many nanometers the chip is. It's like 7 or something ridiculous.
my
Like
God.
each switch is only 7 nanometers
Oh,
across.
okay, so its operation time is super
Or
fast.
the spacing is 7 nanometers. I can't remember, but it's ridiculous. And yeah, it'll run pretty much everything on Ultra at the moment
Oh,
with ray tracing. So
I don't
it's
know
like,
what ray tracing is, but
it's basically like the light. It traces the like reflected rays
yeah.
of light. So instead of having to be directly, this is my understanding of it.
Oh my,
I'm about to reveal how unnerdy I am.
yeah.
But it basically like so where there's a light source in the game, it'll reflect off surfaces and
Oh
you'll
my,
get the reflected light. So
oh
it'll
my
trace
God.
the ray as so it looks more realistic basically. So you'll see puddles will have proper images in them and stuff, and it'll look like
Jeez.
if the water ripples, it'll track the rays coming off that and stuff.
That is an insane amount of processing to do that.
Yeah, man, I know that they've never like this is the first series that I think there's RTXs in the last series, but ray tracing has been really rare. It's only just started happening.
Yeah, so I'm looking it up at the moment. Yeah, it's basically what you just said. It's
Yeah,
it just makes it look much more lifelike.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and it's saying, but however, the biggest titles are still slow or limited in the way they implement this technology.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no
It's
fully
like
ray traced games or anything yet.
yeah, exactly. It's just like an emergent thing. So
All right, so it's future proof already for this new
yeah,
holy
that was the
grail.
idea.
Oh,
I know it's good fun.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, I'm so jealous now. I won't be getting anything like that for some time.
Yeah, I just we went to MSY, the same
Oh,
places we
yep.
bought the last one,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and yeah,
Shout out to
had a bit of
MSY
trouble.
sponsor.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, we get an
Um,
average of 6 views.
yeah, we but we
But it's all hardcore nerds, right? Like,
That's true.
Yeah.
But the cooling fan that they gave me didn't work,
Oh,
so I had to return it.
right.
The depth on it was weird. It was like it would rock back and forth on the CPU. So it was like I'd put two pegs in,
Yeah.
and then I'd try and put the other two pegs in, and the whole thing would like be,
Ooh,
and then the other two pegs would go boink,
you're right. Yeah, I've had one
and I
that's
was
done
like,
that before. Yep.
oh really?
Yep.
Yeah. And then they tried to get a motherboard out and was like, try and get on that, and it kept doing it.
Right.
I'm like, look, man, this is what's been happening.
Yep.
And yeah. So like I don't understand why it would be like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, it's
But
probably the crossover with the metric system and the imperial system.
that's probably true.
Somebody didn't do their calculations right somewhere. That's
Yeah.
cool. So how
So
long till that one's ready?
um well I got the motherboard in, I got the RAM in, I got the CPU and the CPU fan. Like I just got the new one today. I'm just putting in the USB cords and the now everything has LED light strips in it. So it's like
Yeah, you got to do
I'm
that.
plugging those in,
Yeah.
and even my power pack has LED light strips. Um,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's like it was like plug in the plug because it's got like a little it's got a little
Like one of those 4-pin connector things, or
yeah,
yeah,
but it comes off the power,
yeah,
and it's like plug it into the the LED strip lighting connector,
yeah,
and there'll be a program on the motherboard that sends
right.
the pattern that it wants to display on the power pack
Okay.
to the power system, and then it'll display like whatever. I don't know. Like
Yeah, that's needless stuff. Look, it looks pretty,
it's
but it's
yeah, exactly. It's like as long as I'm not paying for that, that's what I thought. I was like,
yeah,
I don't mind having a few extra lights as long as I'm not paying for it. As long as
yeah,
it's like they just put them in there,
yeah.
because
All those
I'd rather
fans are
have
usually about 2 to 3 times the cost of a normal cooling fan that have all the LEDs. I don't know about the
yeah.
power
Oh, I
pack.
didn't get a cooling fan with LEDs. I
Oh,
made sure
okay,
that.
okay, okay.
I just got a cooling fan, but the power pack that I wanted comes with LEDs, and
Fair
then
enough.
the case has LEDs on it,
Oh, okay, yeah,
and
that's pretty standard.
even my RAM has LEDs on it.
Okay, that's too much. Who's
I
looking
know
at?
it's
Does your case have one of those glass sides so you can?
yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
little one, and then it's like the RAM apparently changes color depending on how much it's getting used or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I do think LEDs are being overdone to the point where
Yeah,
I have to walk around my room at night with blue tack and just cover up LEDs
yeah,
everywhere because
yeah.
otherwise it's a Christmas tree in my room every night.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's why I was trying to minimize it.
Yep.
Because I was like, we're gonna be watching a movie, and then there's gonna be like a disco on the side
Yeah.
of the yeah.
Yep. That's what happens.
Yeah, this guy was trying to sell me a case that had two giant fans at the front that just were like constant LED lights all around the fans,
Right.
like at the front of the case. And I was like,
Yeah. I'm not 20. Don't
yeah,
don't sell me this. Yeah.
like, please no.
My power source actually is in a separated compartment in my case. So my case has like a
Oh,
large
that's cool.
acrylic side to it so you can see in, but
Yeah,
then there's a separate part on the bottom that
yeah.
you access from the other side that you put power supply and whatever in. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, you just kind of jam all the cables in there and the power supply and it keeps it all pretty neat. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, there'd be no point putting an LED on that.
yeah. Well,
Um,
they've got some expensive power supplies now that you can instead of just coming with all the cables, you can attach cables as you need them.
oh,
So it's
okay.
like it just comes with the square. You
Yep,
put that in,
yep.
and then it's a bunch of cables, and as you need them, you plug them into the
Oh,
power supply, and then plug them in.
that's pretty good actually.
Yeah, it's really good for cable management and
Yeah.
stuff because
No, that stuff's a
you
pain.
you always end up with like 40 like 40 of the like SATA things that
Yeah,
like you're trying to plug in
yeah.
and
Who's plugging in that
all the
much?
yeah exactly.
I
Like
guess
I
maybe a
don't
server.
have I don't have like 10 hard drive.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. Uh,
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
once
I'm excited.
once it's up and running, it's gonna be pretty good. Wait, it's there with you. Oh, so you're gonna drag it back because you're on holiday at the moment.
Yeah. I bought it here,
Yeah,
and I was gonna take it up there and build it,
yeah,
but this is the exact reason for the cooling thing. I was
mm,
like, I better test everything
yeah.
and
That's true.
plug it all in, make sure everything works, and then I can like sleep soundly
Yeah,
and not
that's right.
worry about it.
You just disconnect it and take it up.
Yeah, because I hate to get back home and then it's like MSY.
Yeah, yeah. Make sure if you transport it, you do definitely unplug a lot of the stuff. Because I tried, I think, what were we doing? We're shipping around a unit that had a video card in it,
Yeah,
and just because of the way that they mount in, they're not super stable, and so you
yeah,
can get that slight bit of vibrational.
yeah. Well, the guy said to put bubble wrap all inside the computer.
Yeah, yeah. I would.
Yeah,
I guess just for mostly for the hard drives and the video card, I would disconnect those and bubble wrap them, and then just sit them
yeah,
inside the casing separately.
yeah.
The
But he said also fill up the case
Yeah,
with bubble wrap and then wrap it in bubble wrap.
yeah,
So you basically like inside and out, so you just minimize any movement.
yep, yeah. We were shipping a server off when I was working in that IT place, and yeah, we went crazy with the packing because they're just like you
Okay.
want almost zero vibration in this thing if you can help it,
Yeah,
because yeah, that just rattles screws, rattles parts, and doesn't take much.
yeah. Well, when I shipped my old PC, the one we built together,
Yeah,
um, which is still going. Um, yeah, we got to Melbourne and the fan had slipped off, and I did like when I got in, I didn't even think about checking it,
right.
and then I was playing computer games, and I got a blue screen. I was like, no.
Yeah,
So then I looked inside, and the CPU fan was just off, so I had to like plug it back in.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's it's not too
Yeah.
bad though, but yeah. All right, that's cool. What am I doing? I'm still teaching from home. Um,
Mm,
So the kids are going into exam week next week, so we're doing all the exam stress prep work with them.
yeah.
Um, yeah, just the normal. Make sure you eat well, sleep properly or regularly, exercise, and study.
Yeah.
Um,
Cut down your caffeine.
yeah, yeah. And that's pretty much it, cause yeah, uh, we're in lockdown still, and they've extended it.
Gosh, man.
They've extended it until another 2 weeks, I think. Again,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're just saying 2 weeks, and then the next 2 weeks will go by. They're just 2 more weeks, and
Yeah.
so we'll be like this for a few months.
Yeah. Well, it's better than, well, one, it's better than getting COVID, and two, it's better
Yeah.
um, than them forcing it, trying to force it early.
Yeah, well, they're already basically at capacity for hospitals. I think they're starting to send people
Yeah.
who are
Jeez.
low symptom or asymptomatic away, um, and
Yeah.
just telling them to home quarantine. Um,
Which they won't.
which they're not. No, that's why
Yeah.
we're now at 4,000 cases a day roughly. So it's
Wow.
still going up. I think it's the you would have had
That's
the
only,
you would have had
that
the
was
like
only a month
oh
ago. Really?
yeah, sorry, go on.
I was saying that was only a month ago that it was 2,000 that you were telling me.
Yeah, well
Yeah.
we had since then Christmas and New Year, so um,
Ah, okay.
everybody was traveling interstate. They're all going back to families and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and then now they're all back, and so it's been just nearly 3 weeks since then. So you would have had like it spiked up to 3,500, 4,000, and then it's been going like 3,300, 3,600, 4,000, that sort of thing. So
Gosh,
it's
man.
basically all the people that were on holiday came back and just kept
Yeah.
spreading it everywhere, and it's only just a week and a half that we've been back on full lockdown, or not full, but more lockdown than what we were
Yeah.
previously. So
Yeah, that's
it's
terrible, dude.
it's probably going to take a couple months before it stabilizes. But yeah,
Mm.
like our case numbers are going higher than the recovery rate. So yeah, we're up to like 40,000 active cases, I think, that they know of, obviously running
Wow.
around. I'm sure there's a lot of
Yeah, that's
people.
the problem, isn't it? It's like because the contact tracing is the main thing. It's like
Yeah.
if you don't know who's the next lot that's about to get it,
Mm,
you you really don't have much chance.
yeah.
It's that's what Australia's done really well is the contact tracing and just like,
Yeah.
okay, this person went here, here, here. Contact all those people, get
Yeah.
them to lock down. Okay, this person like was here. You know, it's like they've really managed to
Yeah.
um,
Get ahead of it, really.
get that organized so you can't sort of,
Yeah.
yeah. So we've really had a good run of it.
Yeah, I'm seeing like Victoria's numbers are now at like zero, has been for the past week,
Yeah,
and it's only
yeah,
people that are coming into the state that are bringing it, and that's the only new cases
yeah.
around, so that's pretty promising.
The tennis.
The tennis.
Did you
Yeah,
see that?
I looked at it and I saw the fact that they were doing it, and I was like,
Yeah.
what are you people doing?
Mm.
But I haven't actually seen any of the follow-up since then. I'm assuming there's a lot of whinging
Uh,
going on.
yes, so much whinging from the tennis. This is like jail. Oh, I'm being treated. All these super rich. I mean, they're so rich, right?
Yeah,
The
right.
tennis players. So they're like, I demand a private place with a tennis court to do my quarantine. Um, I need to train 4 hours a day.
Jeez.
They've like stripped out their hotel rooms and are like putting beds up vertically so they can like hit tennis balls at them. They're like doing anything to try and keep training. And yeah, it's
Okay.
but the premier but it's Australia, so the premier's just like, yeah, well, that's just bad luck,
Yeah.
and they can just go suck it.
Yeah. Well, unless you're, what is it, Matt Damon?
Well, yeah, unless you need it for a movie.
Yeah. Then, then you can go and
But it's
stay at your
more
own
that
private quarters.
that whole squad came in, and then there was 10 cases of COVID with them.
Oh,
So they were,
jeez.
it wasn't like, oh, you have to come in and quarantine. It was
Yeah.
like come in,
Yeah.
and then this number one seed is Andy Murray. He had COVID. Then like a whole bunch of the other guys slowly got COVID over the next couple
Oh,
days.
jeez.
So they're like, no, 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 you guys are all locking down,
Yeah.
and we'll
Yeah,
just wait
good.
and see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you let it
So,
out, the whole country or the state or whatever just shuts down, and
oh, it's terrible, man.
yeah, no
It's
one
like
wants that.
it's so scary, and you just last time was just the worst. It's like Australia like killed COVID really quickly,
Mm,
and then we had like a really bad lapse with the Ruby Princess. Like
mm.
they let all these people off a cruise ship
Ship.
without checking them,
Yeah.
and that nearly just got away from us and killed hundreds of people in ended up killing hundreds of people in Victoria
Mm.
because and then the second one was the Victorian quarantine procedure was corrupt, and the guards were doing sex for favors.
Yeah.
So
Jesus.
it's so ridiculous. So
Yeah,
then
human beings.
so now they're just like no one. They're just so strict. Like you can see it in the premier's face. He's like, I'm not going through that ever again.
Yeah.
Like every day he had to get up. Like another 9 people died. Another 100 people. I know 20 people got COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just never again.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
let those people stay in a locked room. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to get back into Australia at some point, and I don't really want to go through the quarantine process because
yeah,
we've been looking at it and it's just like it's super expensive. And then the
yeah,
food that they send you looks like worse than, you
yeah.
know,
It's weird, isn't it?
airplane food. Um,
Yeah, the Darwin one's pretty good.
yeah.
So, and I think all international people are going through Darwin now. They're
Oh,
just
really?
about to. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so you quarantine there and then you can just connect flight after that.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's in Howard Springs.
Oh, okay.
It's like a Howard Springs facility.
Yeah.
But again, like if you can just wait a little bit, you'll get the vaccine, and then you can cruise over.
Well, we saw that even with vaccine, there was a report in the paper saying that this quarantine process may just become the new norm for the next couple of years, and they're
That doesn't make any sense,
no, I
but
don't get it. I'm sure someone's making money somewhere out of it, and so they're like,
yeah.
no, no,
But I
just
mean,
keep
it's
it
got to
open.
be like they've got to create a vaccine passport or something, so you can
Yeah,
go.
that can't be forged easily.
Well, I mean, it'll be on the medical records, so it'll be like,
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah,
Yeah, you'll probably need to have like a government recognized facility
yeah,
sending their paperwork over to Australia, and yeah.
or it'll go into your passport, so it's like an
Oh
official
yeah,
document in your passport, like a visa,
that's true. Yeah.
or it could just be part of your visa application. It's
Well,
like send proof of your vaccine
yeah,
that then it goes into your visa, gets put onto your passport, and then
yeah.
you can travel.
But there was all those Norwegians that took the vaccine, the Pfizer one,
Yeah,
and I think I was looking at the stats. It was 33,000 people had the shot.
yeah,
33 people died.
yeah, and they're all over 75 or something.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
mostly old people, but also some frontline health workers as well. So I think there was like a 56-year-old doctor who also died.
yeah.
But
Oh, okay.
they're again, it's like they don't know what the vaccine's doing exactly. They don't know if it's a reaction to that or if it's something.
Yeah, I
But
thought
it
it was
was
the side effects that was doing it. So it was
yeah,
like they were getting a fever, and then that was triggering something, or
yeah, yeah, which is a bit like
mm,
I mean, okay, that's not too bad a number. It's a
mm,
99.99% effectiveness for
yeah,
basically everyone,
well,
but
survival rate. Yeah,
well, yeah, survival rate,
mm,
which is, about the same
yeah.
as actually catching corona anyway. Um,
It's kind of the difference between it's that thing of like you've done it, like it's like catching a natural disease
mm.
feels less worse than someone injecting you and then you dying. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, one
it's
was
like oh
more
you
random, you couldn't help it, and the other was like, well, I chose to do that.
yeah exactly. I chose to kill myself.
Yeah,
Um, where the other one was yeah just like a natural occurring thing.
yeah. I'm pretty sure though, like if that's the rate of death from the vaccine in the elderly,
Mm.
that's actually way better than actually catching corona itself, because the
Yeah,
death
no, it
rate
is
at
because
that
it's
age is just terrible.
yeah it's like 8 or 9% or something ridiculous.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's and if it's not affecting anyone young, then again it's
yeah.
worth it.
It's probably better. Yeah, probably.
But yeah, it's kind of funny. It's this whole thing we've been talking about for weeks. Is like it's just not quite tested enough.
Yeah, yeah. Roll the dice,
But
people.
still worth the risk for me anyway.
Yeah.
Like
Um. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. I think we've talked about ourselves enough. Let's get into the actual big things that are happening. Um.
Trump,
I was going to say Taylor Swift, but yeah, go on.
Taylor Swift.
And Kim Kardashian, surely. No, I was looking at
Haven't.
Google Trends, and
Oh,
uh,
okay.
and I was seeing like what are the like the most commonly searched terms, say in America in the past day.
Yeah. So what are they?
Well, actually, it was around Trump, and
Yeah.
I
Did you
think
see the pardons?
no, I didn't see the pardons.
Oh, dude, he just pardoned like 70 people.
Did he?
Yeah, one of them's Little Wayne.
What, for bad music or
Little Wayne got done for carrying a firearm on a private plane
on a private
and
plane?
having
Oh,
like, yeah, well, you still can't have
okay.
guns on private plane, and having a whole bunch of cocaine and ecstasy,
That dude
and he
knows
was
how to
gonna go,
party. Yep.
he was gonna go to jail for 10 years. and Trump pardoned him.
So I wonder if he's what he's doing because like he's leaving office, right? So he needs Americans
Yeah,
on his side. So he's just like, I'm just gonna reach out to the icons of each of the different social groups, um, and
he's
like
like
try and get them back on my side. Except for the
Little
followers of Tiger
Wayne,
King. He
Little
didn't.
Wayne, your music is banging. I
That's right. Come party with me.
yeah,
All the coke you want, man.
I have been doing a lot of boot scooting to your music. Yeah, so
Dear.
so he got pardoned. Steve Bannon got pardoned. Um,
Who's Steve Bannon?
Come on, dude, keep up. He's Trump's campaign manager after the first one. Paul Manafort. Was Paul Manafort? Yeah, I think it was Paul Manafort, and then it was Steve Bannon. He's the like guy that looks like he's dying all the time. He looks like he's got like massive
Oh,
skin
yep,
problems.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
Right. What?
dude's like guilty. He's already guilty. He's already like going to jail. Trump pardons him. He's pardoned like all these random Republican senators. He's just gone through and just shotgun.
Wow. That's.
Yeah.
What do you say to that? Dear. I really don't understand what he's doing. Um, well, I mean,
Well, I mean,
tonight's the
he's
last of it, right? Like, basically, the
yeah.
states are.
Tomorrow he's going to be they're getting ready for it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it might be tonight our time.
yeah. I think it
Yeah.
is because I was watching one of the journos. He was walking around Washington, um, near the Capitol, and
Yeah.
just sort of showing how they're prepping for it. There's like
Oh yeah.
26,000 troops on the ground.
Where were they? Where were they a couple weeks ago?
During the entire Black Lives Matter um, riots that destroyed half the country.
Well, yeah. Let me see who he's got. Steve
So yeah, he was
Bannon.
walking around there. There's troops everywhere. It looked pretty quiet, but there's like fences and barricades up everywhere. And apparently they're saying like they're housing one troop per room.
Oh really?
So it's like 26,000 rooms taken up in the middle of
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Washington.
No, it's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah,
It's basically Trump's trying to create a bubble around him so he
yeah,
can't get attacked. But the main problem he has is that par- presidential pardons don't affect state legislators. So
good.
individual states can go after them.
Okay, good.
So because Trump's from New York,
Yeah,
they're going to go after him for tax fraud and all that sort of stuff.
right.
While he was in the state of New York. So I think that'll probably be the first, like literally, I would guess within the first week, we'll probably be talking about it next week. Like that he's been,
Yeah, stack of lawsuits slapped on him.
yeah, exactly.
Try and
So,
basically get him forced out of the country.
well, yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's. I think everyone freaked out when his supporters stormed the Capitol. It was kind of like all
yeah,
fun and games and all political
yeah,
until like, oh, actually, there's like people bashing windows in and running through the halls. Okay, yeah, well,
yeah,
let's let's rethink what we were doing.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think they've been trying to seriously crush him for a while. The whole troops on the ground was actually Trump's order.
Mm.
Um, there is still the issues of the attack on the Capitol was actually like an Antifa push.
Oh
Um,
God, dude, come on.
no, there's been a dude arrested already for it from
Doesn't matter. Dude, there
Antifa
was so
movement.
you know how many people? There was like 5,000 people,
Yeah,
and a majority of those are on like Parler like posting videos of it and live streaming it and like
Yeah,
to their like it's there's no way this was an Antifa thing. It's like ridiculous.
Um, I
This
think
is
I think they probably had a part in it. I don't think they orchestrated the whole thing,
mm,
but I definitely
Trump
think
literally sat there and was like, "Let's march down to the Capitol.
yeah,
I'm
but
gonna come with you." And then he was like, "I'm going this way."
yeah,
See you
but
later.
but as he was even saying that, it was already happening. So the people that were with him, like listening to his rally, weren't the ones storming the Capitol. That's a different group.
No, they were. They went down there as well.
No, but the timing of it shows that where he was, and where they were was not at the Capitol while it was being stormed.
I haven't checked that out, so
Um,
I can't dispute it.
yeah, but don't get me wrong. I don't think it was just a Antifa thing or it's like an entire conspiracy. I don't doubt that there are people there just because they've gotten a high from the whole Black Lives Matter riots and have just like let's go do the next thing and smash stuff up. Certainly the dude that they arrested he was the one that was out reporting on CNN and so on, and
Mm,
they were filming him and he gave his story. And then it turned out he was like one of the main antagonists and an Antifa, or no, he was a Black Lives Matter guy, and yeah, just basically a person that likes to stir up trouble. And he was an
yeah, I
operative.
haven't heard any of that, but all
Um,
the people that like stole stuff and were taking pictures, and some lady stole someone's computer and
yeah, I
they were
think
trying to sell it to the
seven
Russians,
laptops
and
got stolen, including
yeah,
what's her face, the
Nancy
yeah
Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, hers got
So
flogged.
all those people got done,
Yeah,
and they're all like far right extremist dudes.
yeah,
And that weirdo with the helmet, and
yeah. He's a
it's
nutcase that's a Trump supporter
yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
There's just like so many, and
Yeah.
it's so crazy. They're all these QAnon people. That's the problem.
That I don't I honestly haven't been looking at QAnon because it feels like that conspiracy is too weird and far out there that I haven't looked at it.
But that's the conspiracy that's they think Trump's sending them messages, and he's cute.
Oh dear God, yeah, this is why I've
That's the
avoided
whole
it
thing.
because
Yeah,
that's
it's like
insane.
they're looking for encoded messages in Trump speeches and posts to give them information what he actually wants them to do, and that's
That's called schizophrenia. That's not that's not QAnon. They got the
yeah.
word wrong.
I
Oh,
randomly found a dude on YouTube.
oh my
I
God.
don't even know how I ran it. It was like in my suggestions, and I was just like clicked on it, and I started watching it.
Mm,
I was like, oh, here's a right wing dude. I'll listen to what he says and see what he's saying. And then he just went into this weird place of QAnon. Like, see here on this letter, you can see that he emphasizes these things and blah blah blah. And it was just like, no,
oh my God, yeah.
like
Yeah, no, so
these.
I'm definitely gonna stay away from that one because I
Mm,
think if I go down that rabbit hole, it's time of my life I won't get back.
yeah. Well, there is a really interesting thing that's about to happen, which hasn't happened in a long time. The Democrats are about to hold the presidency,
Oh yeah, the Senate
the
and the
Senate,
House.
and the House
Yeah,
for 2 years,
yeah,
uninterrupted. Um, so it's going to be really interesting to see what they actually enact and what
yeah,
their policies are versus what the right wing people have been saying they're going to be.
yeah. Do you reckon
So it's
they're
going to be
gonna disarm the nation?
no. I don't think that's very high on the list at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, it's like kind of on the list,
Yeah,
but it's. I think so many things have happened since then.
yeah,
Like when all the mass shootings was going on, that's when that big push was happening.
yeah.
But that was like 2 years ago now. Sorry, my throat's so dry.
Wasn't that? Didn't it happen during Obama's reign? Didn't he try and get rid of it back then?
Yeah, because it was so, but he got stopped in the Senate all the time because Mitch
Right,
McConnell had ran was the majority leader.
right.
But the that was when a lot of the mass shootings was happening,
Right.
and so there was it was kind of drumming up support um, for changing the Second Amendment.
Yeah, right.
Um, but
So,
the weird thing about the Second Amendment, um, there's two weird things. One is like at the time of writing that, the the most powerful weapon was a musket and a Gatling gun, and it's it's hard to see that they envisioned that people would have
fully
like
automated rifles.
and personal rocket launchers and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's it's hard it's like one of those intention versus reality things. It's like,
yeah,
were they intending for you to be able to mow down 40 people within an hour?
yeah,
It's like, don't think so,
yeah.
but at the
No,
same time,
wasn't it set up because it was like they'd had to fight for their independence, and they're like, we need to make sure we're still armed.
so yeah, that's what's, but it was also that you can then overthrow the government if needed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's what it was designed for. But again, they weren't envisioning F-35 bombers and
Yeah,
stealth, B-2 bombers and
yeah,
ICBMs and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, we can't overthrow the government because
yeah,
there's my AR-15 is not going to stand up to
yeah,
a tank. It's like,
yeah,
I can't, like, the army would literally destroy, like, they could kill everyone in America
yeah,
if there was some sort of system that wanted to.
yeah. I
So
don't doubt they could just bomb everything, just
yeah,
carpet bomb areas, and then wipe up the rest with tanks and ground troops. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So
for sure.
it's a it's a the system's so far different to what it was when they made the rule.
No,
Um,
I think it's more the concern that like you get a nutcase with a grudge, and then he goes out and gets like a stack of pipe bombs and assault rifles, and then just walks into a public area and murders or massacres a bunch of people. And it's like
yeah,
I liked Australia saying farmers can have bolt action rifles that they need for like
yeah,
their work.
the
Um,
feral animals and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, or like possibly a semi-automatic one for some of them,
yeah.
depending on what they do. But just get rid of all the assault rifles and things. It's just you don't need to have that stuff. And like if
No,
you
I agree with it, and but the mindset is so different in America,
yeah
and
right
that's what it is. It's like in Australia, everyone's sort of
used to not
they're more
shooting each
chilled.
other. Yeah,
Yeah, and they're more chilled out.
yeah,
Gosh.
yeah. That's
Um, Whereas in America, it's like it's this idea of freedom and individualism and being one's own, like everything. Like the government is over there and should be not in my business, and
yeah right
I need to be. It's like the Wild West. It's like
right yeah that's
I need my six-shooter to defend myself against desperados and bad hombres. It's
yeah
yeah, that's still very much the mindset. So it's going to be a hard slog.
yeah
But I think the first things they're going to have to do is one, um, try and do something about COVID. Um, Two, try and do something about the economy and the debt.
God yeah
Um, there's just so many bad things happening right now.
yeah
It's but have you seen a graph of uh, USD money supply?
no
Have a look. Just look up a graph, the graph of USD money supply.
okay
See if you can put it on the screen.
I don't actually know what I'm looking for.
Just put USD money supply
Graph
over time. Yeah,
okay
I don't know.
Oh, this is like trading economics.
It's basically like a line that's like this normally,
Yeah.
and now it's like the next bit is like that.
Oh, okay, that's not what I'm looking at.
Yeah. So it's like
Oh, so they've just
imagine a graph.
injected a bunch of money in.
Yeah, is that like imagine a graph where you've got like a mean line that's going like this,
Yep.
and then now you've got a line going like
Right.
40 degrees.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
like
Yep. Okay. There we go. I've just popped one onto the screen for a second. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, it's been doing a
oh, I
pretty
can't see it. That's weird. Yeah.
no, because it's I'm not putting it on Discord.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
So
No, that's good. As long as it can be seen. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, well, I mean, since 2010, it's been
yeah,
jumping up, like
yeah,
gone from a
yeah,
15, 20 degree line to like a
yeah,
45, and then in this
yeah,
last year, it's just gone like that. Yeah.
yeah. So
Ooh, that's
this is
bad.
what this is an indication of if it was any other country's money supply,
Mm,
um, you'd be going into hyperinflation.
yeah, exactly.
Um, Picture Germany after the war.
Yeah.
Did you ever see those pictures of the
3 bricks of money for a loaf of bread. Yeah.
people walking in with
Yeah.
wheelbarrows? Um,
Yeah.
South America where you put your money down, um, and then the store stamps the money with a new currency, like a new currency amount.
Jesus.
So, but can you get me a tea or something? I can't breathe. Just so dry here. Still recovering from like a yeah from COVID.
Oh yeah. Get him. Yeah.
Haven't gone to the doctor or got tested, but
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Now,
No,
what you
the
do is you go to many restaurants to try and find a good soup or something. Just, yeah, really get out
oh,
there.
what we were joking about it because it was like the amount of places we've been
Oh, yeah.
when they did the contact tracing, it would be like patient zero was at
Yeah.
this place, this place, this place, this place,
Yeah.
this place, and this place.
Yeah, you'd be perfect for the news because you're not a local there at the moment
Yeah,
either. It's this guy from Darwin.
burn him at the stake. But but yeah, they
Yeah, so
so
so they're printing
the only
money
thing
like
that's
crazy.
yeah, I mean the only thing that's saving America at the moment, one is their GDP because they got a massive GDP, and two, everything's priced in US dollars. Um, so because of the reserve currency,
Right. So,
um, it's very hard to inflate that.
Jesus. So where's all the debt going then?
Well, the debt's going into the reserve bank.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so the reserve bank is buying all the debt in America.
Right. That's nice of them.
And wouldn't it be nice if they just paid my mortgage off?
Yeah, that's
But
right.
but no, what they do is they buy the here's a weird fact, like in Japan,
Mm,
the Japanese Reserve Bank is now the largest holder of Japanese shares.
right. Jeez. So they've just
So it's
so they basically had to try and counter the inflation movement in Japan by purchasing everything.
well, no, that what they're doing is they're propping up. It's not inflation. They're trying to stop
Oh,
deflation.
yeah, right. They're
So
driving their economy.
so what they're doing is like we'll buy all your shares
Mm,
and inject money into your company
mm.
so then you can do more risky stuff. But that's basically
Another karaoke bar.
yeah. Well, this is what the problem is. It's like you go around. We like in the city, like the vacancy rate is ridiculous
Serious.
for buildings. Yeah, there's just like so many stores in the city are just vacant. And
Jesus.
what is there is like nail salons, um, hairdressers, uh, just like really. like service orientated, fashion, those sort of things.
Right.
Not they're not things that drive growth in an economy.
Yeah.
So this is the problem: is that the growth is missing from most modern economies,
Yeah. Right.
and they're replacing growth with debt. Like in Norway, um, is it Norway or Holland? I can't remember. Somewhere in Scandinavia, you can now get a loan for 20 years interest free.
Wasn't I saying that last week? Where like I think it was
Oh, maybe.
Denmark, and they actually you actually get paid to have a loan.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just saw one on Twitter.
All right.
They
So
were
it's
like,
happening everywhere.
do you want an interest-free loan
Yeah.
for 20 years?
Yeah. That's crazy.
How crazy is that?
That's very crazy.
It's
But
and
also yes.
well, I
Can I
mean,
please? Yeah.
but what does it tell you about the debt? That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what's that? Oh, biscotti. Yum. Someone made some biscotti.
Oh, nice. Homemade.
Oh, and some little, yeah, homemade.
Oh, that's
Some
fancy.
little chalky biscuits.
Oh,
Oh.
geez, fine dining. I'm drinking from my wife's or is it Morgan Fields cup? um,
But
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah, that's crazy. So clearly because the only thing that drives economy is growth, and growth
yeah,
is kind of detrimental to a lot of countries because then you run out of resources, and plus you
yeah,
get
but
the aged care problems and all that stuff.
yeah. So what we're doing is basically hollowing out
Mm,
our economies.
yeah,
So we're making them more and more fragile.
yeah. Waiting for all the boomers to die off.
Well, I mean, the thing is, there's nothing really to replace it. The,
Um,
the only the only thing you get to replace it with.
yeah.
No, what causes a boom?
Uh, an inflation of resources.
Yeah, but why would it inflate?
Well, I mean, in Australia, it's mostly mine sites.
Hmm. But why are they inflating?
Because other global economies can afford to buy that.
Yeah, and why are they demanding it?
Because there's a consumer demand.
Exactly. And that's the problem. We don't have consumer demand because everyone's under debt. We don't have, so you're basically getting this cycle, and it's mostly due to no population. Like, if you do you know what a adoption curve looks like an S curve? I don't know if I talked about this before. Um, so all emerging technologies go through an S curve. Um,
Okay,
so it
yep.
looks ju-
Start
it
slow,
looks sort
expansion, levels off. Yep,
pumps up and levels off.
yep.
So like we haven't got any new. Eric Weinstein talks about it as like orchards. He's like we've like picked through all the orchards that we've got now, and we don't have any orchards left to pick. So we need to find new orchards to pick. And he thinks we're going to find more in new physics, like looking through new physics.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, space exploration would really help that.
Mm,
If you could get a gravity drive up, we could start mining the asteroids and the helium fields
yeah,
and everything.
yeah. It's really difficult
Mm,
because wages and inflation have to go together. Otherwise, you get things become unlivable.
yeah, which is what's slowly happening in Australia. Well, yeah, that's what they're saying, that like because the wages aren't moving alongside the living expenses,
Mm.
the interest rates all have to drop so that people aren't losing so much money.
So they can risk more.
Yeah,
So you can go risk on.
yeah,
So if I told you 20 years ago, or 30 years ago now in the 90s, would you like to take a $500,000 loan at 17% interest
oh, Jesus.
to buy a three-bedroom place?
Yeah,
You're like, what are you talking about?
yeah,
Like, I'm not going to do that.
yeah,
But now it's like, would you like a three-bedroom place at 2% interest? That's what's happening. It's like assets, because assets are real
mm,
and they have intrinsic value,
yeah,
um, things are getting inflated, so assets are getting more expensive.
yeah,
And that's going to be the line. It's going to be people with assets and people that don't have assets.
yeah.
And
That's most of us.
yeah, exactly. There's very little you can do about it.
Yeah, yeah, unless you find some way to make a bunch of money, but not everyone's going to be able to do
Yeah,
that anyway. You always need to have the divide between the ultra rich and the poor, or you collapse
yeah,
the system that's propping it up.
yeah. You can do that as well. But
Yeah, but that's
there,
never
there's a
that's never a good way of, well,
well, there's a saying in trading that the market can stay irrational longer than you can hold out, sort of thing. It's like you'll go poor before the market stops being irrational.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. You're just going to end up with a
there's not,
bunch of poor people that get pissed off, and
yeah,
either they
the
go the way of communist China, where you just end up with mass amounts of death.
mm,
Oh, nice. Where what did they
so good.
lose? Tens of millions of people died
Yeah,
there. Um, or you go revolution style and they just topple the rich.
or you go kill China.
Oh, yeah, going to war is another great way of doing it.
Mm.
Short term restabilization of economy, but that's going to be a pretty
Mm.
ugly fight too. But
There's not many there's not many exits.
no, not at the moment. Although I don't know if Biden's exactly a march into China with the guns blazing kind of guy.
No,
I think
and
he's
America's got so many other problems.
yeah, I think he's more of a standing there with his hand out, going, "Can you give us a loan?
Mm.
We'll sell you half our country." uh,
So
yeah,
it's going to be a problem, man.
yeah,
Like we keep kicking the can down the road,
yep, yep,
and as you do that, by not riding out the deflation
mm,
and renormalizing everything, um, it just gets bigger.
yeah. Well, given that
So like,
spike in the printed money, that's horrifying.
yeah, like if they had just stopped in 2008, they had a chance. They had a chance to destroy all the companies
Yeah,
that
right.
weren't profitable and have new companies get erected in their stead.
Yeah, right.
And they didn't do it.
No, they chose
They,
bailouts.
yeah, they had a sacrificial lamb. They were
Mm,
like Lehman Brothers, you go, like
mm,
here's the scapegoat. And but if they had just gone no handouts, this is not.
yep, you did it to
It,
yourself. Good luck.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not capitalism when you're winning and socialism when you're losing.
yeah,
It's capitalism. So it's
yeah,
like you lost, you go bankrupt,
yeah.
you know, head to
That's
jail, go directly to jail.
exactly. That's how monopoly works.
Mm.
Yeah,
So it's like that's the problem.
yeah,
Is that pivotal moment there, even though it would have been massive pain for all the people losing their jobs, everything going wrong,
mm,
um, it's a far less bigger problem than they have now. So it's like structurally now, if that had happened correctly, you'd be at a much stronger country
Yeah, right.
because you would have had all that debt collapse and disappear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
No, I think I'm just gonna stay the hell out of that because,
yeah,
yeah.
it's scary, man.
Yeah, it is, and I'm glad it's not me that has to make the decisions on that one because I
Mm,
don't really want to be the guy that says, you know what, I'm just gonna plunge this country into a horrifying recession and cause the like loss of a lot of things, including lives of people in my nation. But we
yeah,
got to do it. So
yeah.
you know,
But that's the problem. Like economically,
mm,
that's actually going to save lives in the future, and that's what they're
yeah,
not doing.
yeah,
And it's because all the politicians are short-term
yeah,
thinkers.
yeah. Well, yeah. I guess they're lining their pockets pretty well. They're saying like anyone
Mm,
that's quite rich now doesn't feel recessions anymore. It just
mm.
yeah. So
Well,
it's like, well, what can I get for myself now to put myself above that threshold where
yeah.
I no longer need to feel this.
Well, look at the stock market. Just look at the Dow Jones.
Oh,
The
really?
line. It's like so divorced from any numbers.
All right. Yeah, that's crazy. The one I'd been seeing was that they were like Wall Street's really trying to push investment back into the Chinese government.
But why? It was like,
I don't know. That's the thing I don't understand. Uh, I because from everything I've been hearing, like most of the way they run stuff is a Ponzi scheme. So
hmm,
I'm guessing that the only reason why you push that as an actual
tell me.
as an option is because you're the guy at the top. So
Hmm,
that's the only position in a scheme like that you want to be in.
that's true.
So if you're like, yeah, go do this, that means that you're the guy making the money.
Hmm,
And then everyone else, it's like you just soak it up. Certain people in a few layers below you will make, and then a whole
hmm,
bunch will miss out.
yeah.
But I don't, I
Yeah, I
don't
wonder if,
understand if that's what it is or not.
well, did I tell you how they, like all the government contracts to build stuff? Can I tell you what someone was telling me? It's such an old story, I can't remember who told me, but basically what they do is like the government gives out a contract to build a road
Mm,
for X amount of money, say $1 million. It'll be way more than that, but let's just say it's $1 million.
okay.
The company that gets the tender
Mm,
then does a subcontracting to another company, and they give them money to get the contract.
right.
So they pay the first company X amount of money,
Mm,
and then the contract gets pushed to them,
right.
and then just one by one, subcontractors line up in a conga line.
Everyone takes a slight cut out of the
But
total.
everyone slowly cuts it down until the last company actually does it
Yeah.
for bare minimum, no proper, like nothing's proper,
Yeah.
everything's done like cheap as possible.
Yeah.
And
Hence those buildings that fall apart and that sort of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why you get buildings made of rope
Yeah.
and sand and the
Yeah.
the uh, hot cup. Um, yeah, all the buildings are made of rope and sand, and the
Yeah.
the roads are buckle instantly because they got no reinforcing and no proper grading and stuff, and
Yeah.
you don't have any Rio in the concrete.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder, like, how do I get to be one of those companies in the chain that like manages to take the cut and ship it on?
Exactly.
I'm guessing it's all what do they
It
call it?
has to
Like
be
that
fealty
nepotism
and
stuff.
friendships and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's like, yeah, yeah, my dad knows the person who does that construction. We can get them in because you can trust them. That kind of thing.
Well, even even more like, we'll be loyal to you
Mm,
if you pass this on.
that's true. Yeah. If you hear anything, you pass it on to us next time, and yeah,
hmm
yeah, everybody's making
here's a
money.
friend. hmm
Yeah.
And so it ends up being, yeah, it ends up being the worst of everything.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's like, it's, and like, have we seen what's happened with the COVID stuff in China in the last week?
Where they're building
The
all
two
those
bits of
field
news?
hospitals, or
No, no. So one is, there's secret recordings of doctors admitting that um, the CCP instructed them to keep quiet about how bad it was when it first came out,
no, I haven't seen
and
that one actually. That's weird.
uh,
I'm normally on
and
top of that.
to deny that there's any human to human transmission. So
I mean, I'd been hearing about that since
yeah,
the start of it.
yeah. Well, now they have secret recordings of it, and
Okay.
the second one is that now they have a case of corona-like symptoms coming from a lab worker at the Corona
The
Research
Wuhan
Center.
one.
Um, like in August or something, like way before it happened.
Yeah, that one I did hear about. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like it's starting to become really likely that it was from that lab.
Yeah.
China tried to shut it up,
Yeah.
and it just got out.
Well, that's interesting because the World Health Organization has been granted access to investigate the origins. What I heard was Rona. What I heard was that, however, any investigations that they do has to be run by the Chinese government health department before and given their approval before actually being released anywhere. So they're basically just saying yes, you're
So
allowed in, but only if we say that it's okay what you've actually uncovered.
yeah, which is insane.
Well, yeah, given that the World Health Organization has already been in their pocket about the actual
Yeah.
release of it in the first place. Um,
Well, hopefully, um, someone in there is a whistleblower. That's all we can hope for.
well, man, yeah. Hopefully they do that outside of China, but yes.
Well, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for their sake, I do. I hope that. But for the world's sake, I hope they get the information out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes and no. It doesn't really make a difference anymore. Uh,
Well, it
it,
does because it's.
it would be nice to hold China accountable for it,
Yeah, exactly.
but I don't think that's going to make a difference. It might, I mean, it might create a little bit more anti-CCP sentiment in everybody, but
Yeah. I mean, that's always good.
yeah. I mean, well, it would be good in regards to what is it? The New York Times posting a story about how well China has managed the disease in their country, and that
Yeah,
we should all take a
exactly.
leaf out of that book.
But who got paid for that one? That
Oh
was
God,
ridiculous.
yeah. It's like
I mean, how can you even say that with a straight face?
I know it's just such brazen lying, but I mean, come on, the world's used to it now since Trump's been in
Mm,
power. It's like
yeah,
there's the fact, here's your story. We can all see that, but you're still sticking to this.
yeah, exactly. Let's just run with that.
Yeah, but man, yeah, it would be, I guess it would be nice for the truth to surface. It certainly, I think that's what I was saying way back in our earlier episodes that there is, was it there was an independent study into the labs at Wuhan first that gave a report that says its safety standards are not satisfactory. And we
Mm,
recommend this lab be shut down until its standards can be increased again. And
mm,
they ignored that, and shortly after that, yeah, it got a viral outbreak.
mm.
Because yeah, that's been a well, yeah, that was the narrative that I heard way back in like December, January or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's the problem. It's it's that lack of transparency.
Yeah, but I mean, look, if you've got the World Health Organization saying it's not a problem, you don't even need to wear a mask,
Mm,
it's not a, don't worry about it. I mean,
yeah,
at that stage, I would have been like, of course, it's the World Health Organization. Why would you not
yeah.
listen to them? It's just in this past
Well,
year, I'm like, oh, I don't even look at their websites for information anymore.
there's an interesting case is with that, which is what I was saying. Like, if it's China that's lying to the World Health Organization, um, misstating all this stuff, like they're telling that they've instructed all their doctors, anyone that asks, there's no human to human transmission.
Yep,
It's not a serious disease.
yep,
Um, just, shut up,
yep,
basically. So if that's the information that the World Health Organization is getting,
yep,
and they have no other information they can go on because they can't get into China
yep.
without supervision,
That's the narrative they got to
it's
run with.
what else are you going to say?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like that.
Mm,
What is it? The world is treating the Chinese government as though it is a legal
I,
operating
mm,
nation, as opposed to what is essentially a mob or a mafia. It's a
yeah,
well, it's a dictatorship, but everyone's treating
yeah,
them like
exactly.
they're fair and even-minded.
It's very weird, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean it's been a pretty big year of
Mm.
exposing everything that they're actually doing. Um, it's been kind of horrifying with all the human organ harvesting and the slave camps and stuff. Um, that that's really thrown me out a lot. Uh,
Did you ever see that the exhibition where they?
yep,
Sure, we went and saw it here.
yep, yeah. We were monks, I think, at the time.
Yeah, and the guy like was like getting all those cadavers from China,
Yeah,
and there was a big hoo-ha back then about it.
that's right. Yeah, because they said it was like prisoners of
It was
conscience
prisoners, yeah,
from yeah, and they were what is it? They were injecting plastic through their bodies to create those human body
yeah,
exhibitions. Yeah,
yeah, and then like dissolving the bits that didn't weren't resined.
yeah. I mean, they looked amazing, but yeah, that was. Nowadays, I'm much more inclined to believe that yes, it probably was not voluntary or of people that had actually died. Um,
Yeah, they weren't dead. They were just like killed for it.
yeah, because that's pretty grim, the stuff that I've been watching on the organ harvesting things. It's like the doctors
Yeah.
that are doing it are going, we walked onto a train and there's all these like bodies hanging up. Um, and I started to work on one and it moved, and I was just like, oh, I don't think this person's dead. And they're like, just come and get the bits out, get the bits out, keep working. And
Wow.
I was like, oh, that's horrifying. Um, and yeah, and
Auschwitz 2.0.
oh man, so bad. And
Mm.
the slave labor camps, the one that shocked me the most about that was that Europe just signed another deal with China to basically utilize all that. It's like, yeah, we know
Wow.
you're doing it, but it's cool. We'll do some more trade with you again. Oh,
Well, this is the problem again with the debt. Um,
yeah,
China's the only one that's producing anything, and the the other countries are
yeah,
basically beholden to them in the terms of economic
yeah. What is it?
activity.
Europe strikes major investment deal with China despite US concerns. Yeah,
Gosh.
yeah. The EU is the largest single market in the world. Oh,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, because you got
which,
Germany.
yeah, right.
Germany's like the third largest, and France like the fifth largest or something.
Yeah,
And you got all these little Switzerland and stuff. They're all so rich
yeah. Let's
from
not
all the
forget
Nazi gold.
IKEA. You got that going all around the world. Easy to put
Nazi
together.
gold and chocolate.
Yeah, the Swedish meatballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking at it going, yeah, well, it's going to sustain our economies or sustainable
Hmm.
development and stabilize our economies and so on. It's like, yeah, but You
and
know,
also keep the populace happy with cheap shit. Like it's like,
mm,
oh, we get pants for $2. This is amazing.
yeah, yeah. But what did I hear at the moment in the slave camps, so the Uyghur concentration camps?
Yeah,
The Uyghur people are from the western border of China, I think. Um,
yeah, Muslims.
yeah, the Muslims from there. They force sterilize them, and then they put them into slave labor, and then
It's
they
so disgusting.
yeah, it's horrifying. And they have like all those the brainwashing camps, so they just sit there making them like basically state how much they love the CCP all the
Oh,
time. It's terrible human rights violation stuff, which no one's disagreeing on. But
yeah,
then they go and do business with them. I'm just like,
but also China just goes, oh no, we're not.
yeah,
Everyone's
yeah,
like,
they go
oh,
Trump
maybe
on
they're
it.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
like, oh, maybe not. Maybe they're not. Maybe we're just imagining
No, no, what they do is they go, here's a giant bag of money.
that.
Oof, also, we're not doing any of those human rights violations. And they're like, yeah, yeah, great,
We
great.
just-
That's mostly what's happening.
mm,
Yeah, just wash the
there's some
blood off
cheap
those
stuff.
notes. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah.
that,
The only thing that's going to save us is
aliens.
that's definitely one thing.
Mm,
But more likely is automation. So,
how do you mean by that? 'Cause-
well, if we can automate all the jobs that China has, we no longer need them.
oh, in that regard, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So,
factory work is all automated. Yeah,
yeah. So if we can automate parts manufacturing,
mm,
I mean, because all the intellectual property is from America and
yeah,
Europe,
everywhere
pretty
else.
much.
Yeah,
Um, China basically just manufactures it, steals the information, and makes their own stuff.
yeah,
And so you're so if you can keep that in house, and it's the same with electric cars and
Wait,
the Saudis.
are you saying make America great again? Is that what you're is that what you're
Yeah, man.
pushing for?
You're looking for something red to put on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's right. Just go set a car on fire or something.
Yeah.
uh, um,
Run over to Canberra, break in.
yeah.
Um, no, but
Could you
it's also
imagine? Sorry, I was just imagining storming Australia's capital, the
yeah,
Parliament House. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
yeah. What are you doing, mate?
Piss
I'm
off!
storming it. I'm storming it.
Marga! It's like, oh, jeez, somebody.
There's a storm coming. Oh no, it looks pretty clear.
it's, it's like, oh wait, it's 3:30, knock off time. All
Yeah,
right, good luck with your protest.
yeah,
Bye.
yeah,
It'd last an entire afternoon. Everyone would get bored. Game of cricket would
yeah.
break out, and that'd be it.
It's a bit hot.
It's right.
I
Dear.
blew a thong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
But yeah, automation.
the automation and so automation and greening of electricity. So all the renewables.
Yeah, okay.
Um, these are gonna make the countries that are able to do it self-sufficient.
Yeah, look, to be honest, that would actually help a lot because the manufacturing capacity for Australia is actually still reasonably decent. Because you'd need dudes to still work the machines, well, like to
Oh
monitor
yeah,
and all that. So you'd have
yeah,
plenty of workers lined up for
that's
that.
that's skilled labor.
Yeah,
So what I'm talking about is unskilled labor. So automating unskilled labor
yeah, I guess so.
is is because the reason why we can the reason why our wages are high is because there's demand for labor,
Mm,
and the reason why there's demand for labor is because we have a low population.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just kind of wondering how to do that Because what was it that was it Biden? Someone snuck in that in the COVID relief bill. They snuck in a raise to the um, minimum wage to $15 in the
Oh
states,
yeah, yeah.
and they're like, that's gonna lose about 7 million jobs. I'm
That's not
like,
true though.
I'm like, what? And they said, well, what happened last time when they
Yeah,
raised the minimum wage was that large companies, corporations like McDonald's, for example, um,
yeah.
decided to, in order to save profits, fired a whole stack of people and automated all those jobs. So put in those touch screen, um, order menus and all that stuff. And
But the claim that that was a cause and effect is ridiculous.
but
Like,
that's what they're saying is what happened. It's like they didn't want to pay people extra to do jobs that they could get machines to do.
but that why would they pay them anything? It's like eventually, job machines are going to replace jobs.
Yeah, no, we know that
So
it's
regardless of what they're getting paid, they're either needed jobs, you need them and you pay them, or you can automate it and you will.
okay. It's let's call it then a catalyst because whilst it's still very cheap because you got to
I
create the
think the cause
systems
and
that
effect.
do it.
I think the cause and effect is very tenuous.
Uh, I mean, I don't know about that because there is a cost involved in setting up point of sale systems. Um, and if it's cheaper to get someone in to do that job rather than like, because you also need tech support on that, maintenance on all those things as well, replacement costs, it will have a dollar tag to it. And while the cost of hiring someone is cheaper than the cost of replacing them with an automated system, you keep the people. But as soon as the minimum
Yeah, but
wage goes up, it's like, nah, it's cheaper to run these systems instead.
well, I mean, as soon as I saw a an automated teller, I was like, oh well, that's the end of that. It's like you can't. It's like do you remember the loom weaver revolt
Oh,
in
yeah, yeah,
the?
yeah, saying about that one.
I mean, look how cheap were they?
Yeah.
Like
No,
there's no way that it's just more efficient,
yeah, there,
and
look,
so
there is a,
companies are going to go towards efficiency.
absolutely, they're saying basically if you're in an unskilled work, um,
Mm,
your jobs are already getting replaced. You have
mm,
like about a 50% chance that your job will be lost in the next like 10 years or whatever.
yeah.
Whereas if you're in the skilled or high skilled range, like high skilled is like 2 to 4%, the skilled range is like 8 to 15 or something, but then unskilled it's yeah. So
Hmm.
it's already happening. Um, what you need is something that kind of gives people that push along to speed it up. So things like making it more expensive to have skilled labor will push one of those. The other one is the lockdown is causing a bit of that too,
Hmm.
because companies are realizing, oh, we don't need to have everyone sitting in an office space that we're, you know,
Yeah,
renting.
paying for and
Yeah,
yeah.
we can make them all work from home, or we can replace them with an automated system. And so that will push quite a few people out of work as well. But it's not that it's not happening. It's just that there are certain trends, and that's what they're saying about
Mm.
this increase that's currently coming along. It's like, well, that's going to be a bit of a push. It's not a direct result of. It kind of is, but it's more like the catalyst that goes, well, all right, now that the cost of employing these people to do that particular job has risen to this amount, and we can get an automated system that's slightly less than that, get rid of the people, bring in the system.
But you can't have a working class of working poor. No, you can't just say, well, unless we pay them this amount,
Yeah,
um, and which is below what they can the poverty line.
yeah. No, they were saying a lot of it was like tips. The
It's not
people were relying
profitable.
on the tip kind
Yeah,
of
that's
culture to
insane.
get get
Like
by.
what sort of culture is that?
I don't understand it. I don't know.
Like
I mean,
every time I
Australia
go to
didn't have that.
America,
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? Why are you like? I remember working in a restaurant, and occasionally someone would tip me because I did a good job.
Yeah. In Australia?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
occasionally someone would go, "Thank you very much, that was awesome.
Yeah. It happens a lot at the
Here's ten
pubs.
bucks."
Yeah.
Mm.
Like when you're
But like,
serving drinks and stuff, but yeah.
yeah, but like in America, it's just in there,
Yeah.
and it's criminal. It's like it's so weird.
Yeah, it's like the company saying we're not going to pay you,
Yeah,
um, so you have to try and get it out of your customers.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
And so you
understand that.
you
Well, I mean, I
you're
do as the
you're
business owner.
guilted into paying someone's wage,
Yeah,
which is like
exactly.
which
I know.
is directly opposite of what a tip should be.
Yeah, I know. That's right. If they're looking at me going like, well, I mean, if you don't tip me, I'm not going to pay my rent this week. It's
Mm,
like, well, go talk to your boss about that because they
mm,
shouldn't be paying you so low.
yeah, exactly. And
Um,
that's the thing. It's like so basically you have an increase in goods and services
mm,
to offset
yeah,
the rise in wages.
yeah. I'm
Um,
guessing people will stop tipping so much then.
yeah, it's like putting the cost of the tip into the food, which is what
Mm,
it should be,
mm,
and then going, you don't have to tip.
yeah, exactly. It's like it's all
You
right.
know,
Our
it's
wage is covered.
yeah, exactly. They're getting paid. Don't worry. It's
Yeah,
like
if you
if you
do a good
really want
job,
to,
sure.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like you can go over to America and everything's so cheap to eat and drink, and
Mm,
it's like dirt cheap. But then you have to tip 10 to 15% or 20% or whatever it is.
yeah, right. Yeah,
So yeah,
that's nuts.
it's a weird system, man.
Yeah, but I think bringing that back to the automation side of it, that's what they were talking about is like you increase the minimum wage, you start automating as much as possible, which is great if you're a tech guy. 'Cause it
Well, I
means
think,
you've,
but again, I still disagree. It's like all you do is start automating as much as possible. It's like it doesn't matter what people get paid because the
yes and no.
automation, well, it's like unless they're working like they are in India and China as slaves, um, a system that just needs a couple guys to maintain it and can cut your workforce down by 90% is always gonna win it. Like we went to
Yeah,
McDonald's today
yeah.
and there was no one manning the tills. And I just stood there and stood there at the one till they have now. They only got one till.
Jesus. Yeah.
So I stood at the till. Finally, someone came over and goes, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "I'd like to order." So she walks around to the board
Oh wow.
and tries to show me how to put in my own order.
Wow.
I'm like, "No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to go to the till and do the till thing." It's like,
Really?
mm-hmm,
Okay, boomer.
exactly.
But yeah, that is how it's moved.
But it's way more difficult for me.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Like
yeah.
the amount of buttons she had to press
Mm,
just to say Happy Meal
yeah, yeah,
was like
yeah. No,
it's it,
they still will need people manning the tills. You're gonna need humans around,
yeah.
but like you only
Well,
need
until you've trained all the monkeys to do it.
yeah, yeah.
Like, because
You
it's
only
like
need
for
like
me, I
10
was
of
just
it.
like, I'm looking at what they're doing and I'm
Yeah,
looking at what I can do if I just tell someone to do it.
yeah,
I'm like, it's way easier for me, the customer, to just say it.
yeah,
Whereas what McDonald's is doing is they're pushing that work. Same with Woolworths and Coles with
yeah,
the auto checkouts.
yeah,
They're pushing that work onto us,
yeah,
and we're doing it for free,
yep, and
and they're not dropping the price of anything.
yep, yep,
So
yeah. But
it's disgusting.
it is. The look, I worked in the point of sales for a while, and to set up a system, like you got to get your server, your various screens, and the software that runs it all. linking together and all that. Um, that's the outset, the outlay cost of that is not that cheap. It's
Mm,
it's more like you have to do a lump sum, and a lot of businesses, and that's on like a small scale. So that would just be in like a small bar or whatever. You've only got a couple of machines that do that job.
mm,
Um, and that's something that like the business owners are sitting there going, okay, can we afford that? Do we need all these printers?
mm,
Do we actually need all that stuff? And that's one of the key factors that's slowing down that integration, because the tech is there. You
mm.
can literally have an iPad sitting at every table. People don't need waiters anymore. You can sit there tapping your order as you need, and it will send it straight through the server, and someone will bring it out. Or you can go even
Yeah,
cheaper and just have a call system where your number flashes and you go and collect it at the table or the
yeah,
kitchen area, or whatever. So that is, it's all ready, it's all available. It's just that outlay cost to set it up is reasonably substantial, as opposed to
yeah,
just paying the month-to-month rates of your staff, to do all that job for you, and you can make slight profit. And I'm assuming what most companies are doing is pulling in a profit enough till they can go, all right, do we make the switch to a more automated system and start saving on
yeah.
wages?
Okay, so yeah, with small companies, I agree then.
Yeah. The larger ones, I don't fully know how they work. My guess is that they're still mostly looking at total shareholder profits. And
Yeah,
so they're looking at like, well, if we can make an additional percent here by firing all these people and putting that system in, then we'll do it.
mm,
Because
yeah,
I don't know if it's individual franchise holders that actually state whether or not the system will change to a touch screen, or whether it's like the
yeah. I
company.
think it would be the company
Yeah. So
because
they're
they want it
probably,
uniform.
yeah, which means
Because
they'll
I
roll
mean,
that out.
yeah,
And
like look at our. Well, normally they just force the franchise to pay for the upgrades. Um,
lovely. Yeah.
so like if you look at in Australia where there hasn't been a major wage growth,
Yeah.
same thing's happening.
Yeah.
Everything's going automated.
Yep.
So that's where I was sort of thinking. It's like now they're just going to do it if they can, because it's like
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
there's not there's someone's wages going up isn't going to be like, oh well, we were just waiting for that to automate. It's like
No.
they looked at us and was just like, oh, we can do it here now. Let's do it. And then people are basically gonna,
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Australia's wages have been a lot higher than, say, like the States have as a minimum. Like even
hmm,
20 years ago when I was working in whatever
but
it
everything's
was,
cheaper in America. So it's like you got to look at what
well,
the
again,
actual costs of living is. Like
yeah,
it's
I
like
guess
is
so.
the cost of living in America more expensive or less expensive than Australia?
Yeah, yeah, I actually don't know that one.
Yeah,
But
I don't know either.
I'm
I'm
assuming it's
assuming
better.
America is still cheaper,
Yeah,
but
yeah, except in like certain areas that are built up, but mostly
well,
most
they
places.
have the ability to buy a lot of stuff and get it cheap,
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
and they
Um,
also are the reserve currency of the world and stuff like that.
yeah, right.
So,
But no, this is actually what I'm telling my students. I go through with them in class that you need to stay in school. There's no just drop out and go into whatever
mm,
job and see if you can get by. It's like you can do that, but the chances are is that you're going to start having to compete very highly for work positions, because
yeah,
one, there'll be a stack of immigrant laborers who will come in and do the laboring jobs for virtually next to nothing, because the
hmm,
currency here is better than where they're from.
yeah,
Um, or you just, the job that you're skilled in will no longer actually have a human requirement for,
yeah,
and so you're going to need to reskill in some other area. And
yeah. You're slowly losing those sort of kids' jobs.
yeah, exactly.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess stacking shelves is not really done by machines or anything anymore, at the
not yet.
moment, not yet, but when they work out better ways to do that. And they probably will have it all just in like warehouses. Like I'd do it out the back, and then I'd just bring entire racks out and drop them in and replace it with
Yeah,
another
yeah,
and wheel them off, as
yeah,
opposed to
exactly.
stocking while you're there.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Yeah, but
It'd be hard being a teenager now.
yeah, it's like forget having a job, which means that then the parents have
Mm.
to look after them for longer and
Yeah, exactly.
soak up the cost of everything. Um, but yeah, automation is definitely coming in, and so you need to stay in school. You need to at least finish college and then look for additional certification if you're not going into university. Make sure you
Hmm.
do certificates. Get that stuff under your belt so that you're more qualified than the next guy in line.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, because high skilled jobs, certainly the ones that in the field that I'm in at the moment, are still pretty secure.
Yeah,
Um, but
I noticed your
there's
voice went up there.
yeah, at the moment it is. I
Mm.
don't doubt there will be AI systems that will start being able to read facial expressions, understand emotional patterns, and start giving people reasonable information. Although I don't,
Yeah,
and also tell when people are lying or not.
yeah. Well, it's like that. There was a system in America. Well, there probably still is, and it's probably still going. Um, for middle management positions,
Mm,
where you basically it monitored everything you did, um, and then trained. It would then you were basically training this
to
AI
replace you.
system
Oh
to replace you,
God.
and then
That's such a bad move from a company.
yeah. So,
Uh,
but a lot of staff weren't even aware because it's just monitoring what you're doing.
right.
So it's like it's just following what you're doing, and once they decide or whoever decides, oh yeah, it's got the hang of that one,
Yeah.
it just like replaces you.
Right. It's like
And
it creates a system to watch the clock for 3 hours and have one
yeah,
email
well,
ready to send.
but what they started to do with the middle management people
Yeah.
was it started being able to the AI started being able to hire and fire people um,
Jesus.
based on what the like percentages, basically just taking the percentages of all the people and all the staff that got lost their job and got hired and who succeeded and who failed and blah 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 blah. It started replacing middle management, being able to make those decisions of like who stayed and who
Damn.
goes and stuff like that.
Eventually the CEO gets fired, the machine takes over.
Yeah, and all the shareholders get fired and the robots
Yeah.
buy the shares.
Yeah. Abolish money.
Well, I mean, you've pretty much got robots buying the shares anyway,
Yeah.
based on algorithmic trading.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
That's
just that the humans still own the money.
yeah, oh my goodness. It's like I almost don't want to think about this stuff anymore because it's like you
Yeah,
don't.
let's talk about D&D then.
Yeah, yeah. Think I've managed to depress everyone enough that there is no future for anyone. No,
Yeah, cheer up, everyone.
yeah. Don't get me wrong. Look, we're obviously waiting for some sort of sky daddy to save us all. So come on, aliens.
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
eventually we're gonna. I mean, there's always mud huts and sticks.
Well, they're showing as far as personal happiness goes, people whose I think we talked about this before. People whose main focus is just on survival actually showed a greater level of satisfaction and happiness in life because
Yeah,
they didn't have all that time to navel gaze and worry about everything.
yeah. I really think that was the main driver for all the apocalyptic movies in the last 20 years. Um, like this sense of how would he survive? How are they going to get through this?
Mm,
It's like you kind of like tagging along for that. Like you've got your sympathetic nervous system is attached to that story, like
Yeah,
The Walking Dead and stuff like that,
yeah, true. Yeah,
where it's like,
you go back to your survival instincts.
yeah, it's like that feeling of like, oh, they're trying to survive, they're trying, and then it actually got boring once they were successful.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
like once they made a little town and were growing corn and
Yeah,
had walls and stuff like that, it's like,
yeah,
they got this.
yeah. Which is strangely the next task we are going to take on in D&D. It's like
Oh yes,
got
speaking of D&D,
plenty of money now. Just gonna buy a
yeah,
house and start a farm.
yeah, that's we're gonna become a farming simulator.
Yeah. Um.
So,
Yeah.
thoughts on the last episode?
So we went off into, well, not fully into the wilderness. We're on the road
No,
still, but we're
yeah,
heading towards the fringe or border towns to the Great
yeah,
Wilderness. Um, easy enough. There's a few like little plot lines opening up.
yeah.
Although the group seems pretty driven just to, I don't know, fetch
Rescue a
quest.
unicorn statue.
Yeah, fetch quest basically. Just go, take the thing here, get the reward, and leave.
Yeah,
As opposed to exploring the towns and seeing the
yeah. It's
mystery that's coming up. Um,
like you created a great scene with that, the fighting.
yeah, that's right. Drumming up some business.
That was awesome.
Go join the Princess Fighting Academy.
Yeah,
That was quite fun. Um, yeah, yeah, but that's like we've got to. I actually don't know the drives or the motivations behind V. I don't know what he's
mm,
out there adventuring for. I don't know what Esmeralda's adventuring for. Guinness, we kind of got the story out of him.
yeah,
So we got some of that backstory. The other two, I'm gonna need to try and
yeah.
draw it out of him a bit, or
I think
possibly you
everyone's
could.
gonna need to learn to talk more because I think what happens is
Yeah,
it's like, come on, get on with the exposition. Like right click, like quick,
yeah.
click through
Skip
the
through the
dialogue
dialogue. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Um, what was it the other game that I'd played? The way they did that, the way the DM tackled that was he brought in characters that was loosely related to each of our characters' past, and
mm,
sort of mingled them in and had them talk about stuff that nobody else in the group knew about. And so
yeah,
then we were all there like, what's going on? What's happening?
yeah,
Tell me, should we go on this event? Do we need to fix that? That kind of thing. So we had like
yeah, yeah,
a drive from the DM because like some of the players were investing a lot of time in that character's background story, but
yeah,
us as players were never asking about it or
yeah,
finding out
yeah.
about it
I was a
until the
bit
DM brought it
disappointed that I like went to the trouble of writing a note and you guys just completely forgot about it.
in. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, I think yeah,
The constant pain of the DM.
yeah, yeah, no, what I was finding in my game is that you do need to kind of spoon feed the narrative to people quite a bit because they're just sitting there like, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna go see how I can click
But
through this town and
but everyone read it out,
yeah,
and then 10 minutes later you were at the place.
yeah, yes, we
And I
were,
had the guy. It was like everyone was like pointing. Yeah, so there's the good hill, and
yeah,
for
but
some reason everyone thought Poke was the another town or something, or someone got people got it confused or something.
yeah, probably
Because
with the place that the bandits are raiding.
yeah, because it was like meet me at wherever. Where did we just come from? Some Semel.
Yes, Semberon or something or
I
other.
put it up here somewhere.
Yeah, but
Um,
I mean, not only that, we also gave up following that chick pretty quickly as well. So
Succumba.
Succumba,
But
yes,
also, you guys did it pretty ham-fisted, so I was like a bit disappointed.
yeah, yeah, we didn't really have a good rogue in the group to do information gathering.
No, but I mean, you just basically like, here you go. Here's a letter.
Yeah,
Oh, what? You're weirded out by that? No,
yeah, yeah,
but I said the words.
yeah, but in that too, there wasn't much motivation for us because there was a guy, a dead
Oh
guy,
no. Mm,
and it was like just part of a weird ambush, and then that was it.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
I'm just throwing out plot lines, so
yeah, yeah,
it's like fishing.
yeah, fair enough. Got to find something that, well, apparently, you got to appeal to our
Get
more,
more unicorns
I was gonna say noble side. We're rescuing things basically. We're saving stuff. That seems to be where the party gets hooked. It's just like save
at the
this,
moment.
rescue that. Yeah.
Mm. Before you guys were trying to like rob the bank, so
Yeah, that wasn't really the party. That was that was more of the rogue character
mm.
who was
And
playing
the
his,
thief.
yeah, he was playing his part very very
Mm.
well of being driven to find money,
Mm.
almost compulsively. So yeah, that drove that along a bit, but it also got us into a fair bit of trouble.
A lot.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah, I think I'm enjoying having more freedom because we finished the main plot and it became quite narrow. So I'd already finished like ages ago.
all right.
I was just sort of going through it with you guys to like finish it.
Yeah,
It was exciting, but I
yeah,
like already like as the doors close and like basically once you guys went into the tunnel,
yeah, sure.
like there's very little things random that you could do.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. The passageway into hell was pretty closed.
Yeah,
uh,
you're not gonna find like a small town with
yeah,
like some mystery.
that's right. Yeah, that demon has a backstory. Why didn't you ask him about it?
I never wanted to be a demon.
That's right. They've got my family at home. They threaten to hurt him if I'm not here. Yeah. Yeah, whereas at the moment it does feel more like adventuring, but we're also a little bit
Mm,
lost until we've gotten in mind we're gonna save the unicorn quest.
hmm
And that's kind of where we're sticking at the moment. Not to be sidetracked by any intrigue at all.
mm
But like
Which
I
I'm
said,
fine with
yeah,
because anything that doesn't get taken up
uh,
just adds to the world building. I always think
sure, yeah, that's
it
true.
it adds to the feeling of like oh other stuff's going on in the world. It's not just a linear thing.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, that's true.
and it's not all tied together into one big thing either. It's like
Yeah,
there are other characters in the world doing other stuff
yeah,
that isn't what you're doing.
yeah, multiple plot lines. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And you can
and
always like circle back to that later, where it's like you bring up the names again of these particular people, and you're like, oh, is that what they were getting into? And yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And that's what I like about it.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I like being able to weave just like insane amounts of stuff, and then
yeah.
you guys will go along whatever lines happen.
Yeah, that's what
Like you,
our last DM did. He did the whole reoccurring villains thing. So
mm,
you'd meet them. It wouldn't be much of an interaction, but it'd be like, oh, that guy was a bit of a jerk. But then later down the road,
mm,
it's like, what? He's in charge of that? Oh, I wish I'd killed him back then. And then they manage to get away with
yeah,
more and so on until we eventually kill him off. Um, so yeah, that part's exciting of it. But I mean, come on, we just came out of being these ultra tough giant statues that can just
that
decimate
is
any
true.
opponent that we've got, and now it's just like, oh, I'm a little flesh puppet again that can,
Yeah, and also Guinness wasn't there, so it was kind
yeah,
of hard.
yeah, yeah, our dynamics shifting again. So
Yeah, it would have been nice if the I could have role played that rogue um the search.
oh, that's true. Yeah.
Like I didn't really get to so I mean part of that was like after you guys stuffed up the encounter with her,
Mm,
like then you tried to save it by sending Guinness out, but
yep.
it's
Yeah.
like he kind of just disappeared and came back and reported.
Yep.
you guys couldn't make decisions as he was doing stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I think our party really needs like little walkie-talkie communicator things. Um,
I've got them.
yeah. Oh, really?
You saw them. Well, you saw them.
Did we? I mean, did we?
See what I'm dealing with, guys.
Yeah.
This is what I'm dealing with.
Yeah. I mean,
You guys don't have them yet.
was I paying attention?
Yeah.
Because I don't
If
think
I
I
don't pay
was.
attention, does it exist?
That's right. Dear.
I basically stole them from Matt Mercer.
Yeah, that's what I
So
was gonna say. I couldn't remember what he was using, but
it's two rocks. So don't remember that lady talking into a rock.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Bing.
Wow. Well, my character will never put two and two together. He's too dumb. So
Yeah, yeah. No, that's fair enough. But
he'll
yeah,
just maybe
it's
he can just drop
basically
hints.
what.
It's like when you're away, surely you can wizard up something that can make me hear you.
Yeah. No, it was a really good idea you had. So it's like you have two rocks that are together and they
Mm,
can communicate to each other.
yeah. Right.
Kind of like a can with a string.
Yeah, but is it a spell that does that, or is it a magic item that is created elsewhere?
It's magic item. So it's a magic item,
Right.
right?
So it's a walkie-talkie.
Like communicating rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. But it's not broadcasting, it's just direct to that one thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that'd be good. Um, I, I saw your messages saying it is or is not potentially happening this Saturday for your
Uh
D&D game.
well what's happening is we're going to Margaret River Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but we're only staying one night.
Yeah.
So we're driving down.
That's all you need in
go-
Mugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's only a few things to do. So we're gonna
Yeah.
go, and Angie's sister is there,
Oh,
so
okay.
she's living there. So we're gonna go visit them.
Yep.
Then the whole family's gonna go drive around, go do a few things like a cave and the chocolate factory,
Yep.
and
Cheese factory. Oh.
there's a cool maze
Oh.
that you can do, like a wooden maze. This guy makes them.
Yeah, yeah. I've tried to go there, but I don't think
Yeah.
it was in operation when I went there. Like it was
We
shut
went
that
there
day.
and it was awesome.
Oh,
It
really?
was like a
Oh.
cool maze, and but like it'll be even cooler as a kid because he designs them himself,
Oh, okay.
and he changes them all the time.
Yeah,
So like
right.
the walls just slot into these posts,
Oh,
and you can
nice.
just take them out and put them into different areas.
Yeah.
And then like you find towers, and then you can climb the tower and look out across the maze. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was really good fun when we went last time. So
Yeah.
um,
Wow, yeah,
yeah, well,
that would be awesome. But yeah, you can
yeah,
get most of that done in a day.
yeah, exactly. And then it'll just be dinner with the family,
Yep.
breakfast with the family, and then drive back. So that was the only thing I wasn't sure. Like
Yeah.
when I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't want to like I don't want to say it's on and then I'm rushing to get back.
Yeah, because it's a
'Cause I
three-hour
don't want to like,
drive, isn't it?
yeah, and I'm not worried about that, but it's more I don't like if everyone's having fun, I don't want to be like, do like so.
That's right. Look,
So if
you can always cancel last minute anyway, doesn't
yeah, so I'll message,
matter.
but just if everyone can be available tomorrow, like in the afternoon, is
Yeah.
what I
Sure.
was checking,
Yep.
just in case I'm not available like
Mm.
tomorrow night. I mean Saturday night.
Saturday night.
That's all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, we probably should wrap it up because it's getting late here.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I'm a bit excited to see.
I'm on the same time frame.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. I am excited to see what's going to happen for the States tomorrow, so that's hopefully something that
Yeah.
the world will still be around for that we can discuss afterwards.
I just hope nothing too dramatic happens. I hope it's just a nothing burger and that they've done everything. They've done all their due diligence and everything is fine.
Nah, I want martial law coming in. I want like Biden arrested and Trump like running in on a golden chariot, kind of
Mm,
saying,
what?
Here's your election fraud proof, bam," and just firing guns off in the air.
Shooting the proof out of a cannon
Yeah, that's
at,
right.
at
Yeah. And then jumps on a private jet and takes off
Yeah,
somewhere and lets all of his supporters take care of it.
killing Biden with the proof.
Yes. Yeah, we fashioned it into a
But
spear.
yeah, but yeah, that because the one thing they were saying was that they're worried about the National Guard having to vet them because they
Yeah,
don't want
yeah, yeah. I was
any
watching that.
rogue agents.
Yeah, I was
Mm.
watching that. They were having to basically take out Republicans.
So weird, man. It's like,
Yeah,
where are we living? Like, where are they
yeah.
living? It's like,
How do you not trust your people so much?
yeah, it's disgusting.
But that's what they built. So good luck to them.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm like
Anyway,
halfway across the world, so it's fine for me to just look at it as entertainment.
oh yeah, yeah. It's just I, as a 40-something-year-old man, I no longer want destabilization of the system.
Yeah, war would suck for sure. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It's
Like,
a young man's game.
yeah, exactly. 20-something me was all like, F the system, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Now I'm like, oh, actually,
yeah,
the system
it,
keeps me warm and fed, and
yeah. My family's safe. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, until well Saturday, hopefully, or Sunday, and then
yeah,
next week we will analyze the falling out of the world.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thanks,
Catch you.
guys, for listening, and
Yeah. Feel free
stay
to
safe.
sponsor us.
Yeah. By the word, so sick of the word safe. Bye
uh,
bye.
yeah. All right.
See
I have ended the stream.
ya.
Um,